Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, and today we are making tiramisu brownies. That's right, we're combining brownies and tiramisu to create an irresistible dessert that is going to completely blow your mind, and it's going to be the highlight when you make it for your next celebration. The brownie is rich, decadent and fudgy, and we soak it in coffee and top it with some beautiful cream cheese and whipped cream topping. I'm going to show you everything exactly how I've made it. So let's dive right into this recipe because I cannot wait to show it to you. The first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 170 degrees Celsius. Now here in a bowl I have some castor sugar, and into that I'm adding some boiling hot milk and some vinegar. Now immediately after adding the vinegar, you'll see that the milk starts to curdle and split, which is exactly what we want, and the heat from the boiling milk is going to melt the castor sugar. You want to follow this exactly like so. You want that castor sugar to be melted. Keep it aside while the residual heat continues to melt the castor sugar. In another bowl, I have some melted dark chocolate. Into this, I am adding some edible vegetable oil. Now I'm going to swap my spatula for my whisk so that I can give this a good whisk so the oil and chocolate is well combined into one smooth velvety looking chocolate and oil mix. You can also use melted butter if you like. I just feel that adding the oil makes the texture of the brownies better for this recipe. Now once we've done that, it's time for us to add this curdled milk mix, which has also been sweetened. The castor sugar, as you can see, has completely melted from that boiling hot milk. Give it a good whisk over here. I would say whisk it for at least 2 to 3 minutes. You should start to see air bubbles on the surface once you're done whisking. You could also use electric beaters if you'd like. Now into this we'll add our dry ingredients, starting with all-purpose flour. Then into this I'll also add some cocoa powder. Once I've done this, I'm going to give this a good whisk so that everything is well combined. Again, you can use electric beaters as well to make your task easier. You can also add a pinch of salt in this recipe just to help elevate the flavor of the chocolate. Now that it's ready, we are going to pour this into a 9 by 9 inch square baking tray which I have greased. I did not line it with parchment paper because I ran out, but if you have parchment paper at home, I would highly recommend that you add the parchment paper as well. Shuffle the batter around, tap it along the surface, and then pop it in the oven at 170 degrees Celsius for about 18 to 20 minutes, or until a knife or a skewer inserted in the center emerges clean with just a few moist crumbs. While that's happening, just a few minutes before your brownies are about to be baked and ready, here I have some instant coffee powder, and into that I'm adding some water. They're at room temperature. The water is at room temperature, and you can also add a dash of rum or whiskey in this as well if you'd like. I've kept it non-alcoholic on this occasion. So just mix it and let it sit. Now as you can see, our brownies are ready. The top has a beautiful paper thin crackly glossy crust, which is exactly what we want in our brownies. Using a knife now, I'm going to stab the brownies. As you can see, that's the kind of doneness you're looking for. You see that there are a few moist crumbs sticking to the knife, but there is no wet batter. So that's what you want. You're going to stab the cake everywhere so that it can drink up that coffee mix that we made. So once you've done that, it's time for us now to add our coffee mix, which is just basically instant coffee and water. You could also add espresso, freshly brewed, or you could also make it alcoholic with some rum or whiskey or any liqueur of your choice. Just add this in now and let the brownie completely drink up that coffee. Now that that's ready, we are going to pop this in the refrigerator and let it cool down completely. As you know, the brownie right now is really hot as it's just out of the oven. So we're going to let that cool down completely, and so I'm going to pop this in the fridge. And while that's cooling, I am going to start making the topping for my brownie. Now I would recommend that you make the topping just before you're ready to serve the brownie. Otherwise, this will just be sitting on its own and you don't want that. As soon as you've made this topping, you want to immediately pipe it on the cool brownies and serve. So here I have some room temperature cream cheese. Using my electric beaters on a medium speed, I'm just going to mix it till it looks nice and smooth and creamy like this. Now into this, I'm going to add some dairy-free whipped topping. If you get your hands on heavy cream, then you can add that, but then you'll also need to add some sugar. As the dairy-free whipped topping is already quite sweet, I haven't added any other sweetener in this. I'm just going to mix this for about 30 seconds first, just to make sure everything is well combined. Then I'm going to take my spatula, go along the sides and the bottom of the bowl, and now on a high speed I'm going to continue mixing this for about 3 minutes until it starts to form stiff peaks. As you can see, this is looking perfect. Now it's time for us to transfer this to a piping bag. You could use a nozzle of your choice, a piping tip of your choice, or you could just spread it as is with a palette knife. I like to give it a nice piped look. So I have a piping tip and I have added that cream cheese topping that we just made into the piping bag. And now I'm just going to pipe up some swirls on top of our brownie like so. And once I'm done piping all of the surface of the brownies, I am going to dust it with some cocoa powder, and our tiramisu brownies are ready. What I like to do is pop this back in the refrigerator and let it chill overnight. As you know, the flavors meld much nicely once they have cooled for about 8 hours or so. It's been about 8 hours and I'm slicing into these brownies now, and I'm going to take one piece out so I can show you what it looks like on the inside. These are my tiramisu brownies. They are so addictive, so rich, fudgy, decadent. That cream cheese topping pairs beautifully with the brownies, and it's got a beautiful flavor of coffee and chocolate. As you know, all these flavors pair really well with each other, and the brownie itself has become so moist from drinking up that coffee mix. I really hope you enjoyed this video. When you make this recipe at home, click a photo and post it to Instagram and tag me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you again next time. Until then, goodbye and happy baking.